Okay, welcome to the next installment of the small print of the Law of Attraction. I'm Michael Wolf. We're here with Mahaleen, Louie, and we may have others that join as we get started. So as we check in today, please, if you're willing, share a keyword and maybe the city where you are. I'm feeling grateful, playful, and I'm in Austin today. How are you doing today, Susie?
I'm doing well. I'm feeling accomplished today. I got a lot of stuff done this morning.
Good feeling. I know Emily is on the road, so Emily is listening. That's what we'll say. If you have another word, feel free to let us know and we'll speak it for you. Amanda, how are you doing today?
I feel really, really excited and kind of distracted and busy.
Distracted, and what else did you say?
Just busy with a bunch of stuff going on to prepare.
Got it. Well, thank you for making time for a common experience. The body is a bit under the weather today, and I am feeling resilient.
Lovely.
Love resilience.
Let's jump in. Maha, it's all you. Do we want to begin with your summary and then we'll take a look?
Yeah, so this past experience where we're creating my reality, allowed me to take a deep look into how we create reality. And there's basically two styles, depending on whether we attach to the belief, I am a woman, I am not a man, I am a man, I am not a woman. And depending on our access point, we are likely to suffer from either the curse that was put on the woman after the transgression, or the curse that was put on the Adam, again, after they lied to themselves to begin with.
And just to ground that, that's Genesis chapter 3 of the Bible.
Exactly. So the net is you eat from the forbidden fruit. Well, that's one level of transgression. They could have said, yes, we did it, but they lied about it. They didn't take any responsibility. They just blamed the other. And that blame of the other is right there, the recognition that we're not whole, perfect, complete, and connected, that we are not accessing either our male side or our female side reasonably, I would say. We feel that that power is not given to us. So the woman who became Eve, but only after the transgression, prior to that, she was just a woman, the sacred feminine. But then she's named Eve way after the transgression. And it is because of the painful birth, because Eve means mother of all life. But there's a second curse, which is that her desire is for the power she sees that men only have. So she starts desiring power and a man out there that has the power. And that flips around completely our polarities. Because normally in a happy courtship, the woman resists the man, which, Emily, did you want to say something? I briefly saw
No, that was just the check-in, Maha.
Oh, okay. So anyway, the woman resists the advances of the man, which in turn arouses his desire. So the woman resists and the man desires. After the curse, the woman desires and the man resists. And now the man is into forced labor, resisting what nature made him be. As a giver, the woman starts overgiving. She loves too much. And that right there, that chase is how we can be certain that we're not getting what we want. So law of attraction 101 is, if peace is the grand prize, chasing peace is never going to deliver. We must let it run free. And then maybe we stand a chance to obtain the peace that we want. Now, I don't care what it is that we want. Power, peace, gratitude, money, recognition, a community in which to feel a part of, no matter what the desire may be. What is clear is that we need to let it run free. So granted that the runner is the mirror pathology to the chaser, the runner always wins, because in running, it magnetizes the desire to himself or herself. So that's basically has been such a, hi Anna, welcome, such a high point of understanding that it actually is life-changing. And if you refer at the page that it is it page 32, Michael? And you're on mute.
I'll put the link in the chat.
You're the best. Thank you. So in referring to that page, you'll see it different than what we looked at last week, which was a table with the inverted male on the left side, the inverted female, or the contrary, inverted male on the right side, inverted female, and chaser on the left side. This time is neatly organized into fractals. So, and today we're going to go into the chapter, the creation of enough, the equation of enough. And it is our vision that once complete with how we come to know that a word instead of a world is created in 6 days, and why we can trust it. Then we get a finishing point to shadow work. We get something we can bite into that actually will bring us some nourishment so that we could understand what's left of our own pathology and transcend the patterns that thus far we have not been able to transcend. And that's that's pretty much how major this understanding of chaser versus runner was, that it's likely to be the seed organizing principle of our next book. So that's the intro for where we're going today. Michael, you want to tell us about what we thought to do to further anchor discourse into being?
Yeah, in a nutshell, what we've looked at in terms of introducing the small print is to look at the idea that we always get what we want, and that this idea of the gist of this whole program is that which serves as a decision point for deciding to do shadow work. If it's true that I always get what I want, then I really might want to understand why I keep having the same old suffering pattern. Same thing spoke differently. So what we propose is to use a random number generator and to pick a number between 5 and 36, which represents the first two chapters that we've looked at. Pick one of those pages randomly, and then as we go through our classwork today, we'll keep that introductory page in mind as we cover our material moving forward. So that's the net of it. So in light of that, somebody is given the privilege of telling me when to generate, and I will generate.
And also warm welcome to Danielle.
Welcome, Daniel. And Anna.
Hello. You can generate.
Thank you. The number is 26. And the title of that page on the website is Reality as the Light Bringer. Reality as the light
Perfection.
bringer. That's kind of what I was speaking a moment ago. Why would I continue to have the same dark experience if I do get everything that I desire?
Exactly. So, reality as the light bringer is on its way up. And there it is. Okay. So, Anna, it is all yours.
All right. What is it you truly desire by Lucifer, the TV series, and reality as the light bringer? The question quoted here can only be brilliant since Lucifer is Latin for light bringer. Bringing light to the nature of my desires can also be construed as the foundational work of any analysis, since analysis calls me to take back my projections and let go of any rescue fantasy by turning within.
So let's stop here just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And in your own words, what does that mean? That bringing light to the nature of our desire could be the foundational work of any analysis. What does that mean to you?
So the first thing that came to mind is that desire comes from believing that you don't have something already. And that letting go of any rescue fantasy, essentially that that quote that says, taking like, I can't remember it exactly, but like just a few words, like taking the paths to find freedom. And I learned that the only path to freedom is back to myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So just to make it practical, you may have heard people saying, well, once I'm retired, then I'll be able to paint or write or play or whatever. And so there's some sort of outside condition that, as you said, separates us from what we say we want. Okay? So
Yes.
retirement becomes my savior, and I do not realize that the only thing I have is here and now. Okay, so please continue.
Yes. So when unconscious, I project onto the other that which I deny, hide, and repress. So when I'm unconscious, I project onto the other that which I deny, hide, and repress. So essentially, I hide it and deny it and repress it because I'm unconscious and I don't understand that at that moment I have it, but in my unconsciousness, I'm denying it by not recognizing it.
Right, let's say that I'm saying after retirement, I'll paint. I'm denying that I don't trust myself to paint right now.
Yeah.
So I hide that and I repress that. And I project onto the other being retirement in that case, okay, with that example. I project onto retirement
Yeah.
that which I deny, hide, and repress, which is my belief that I can't.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. So this is how the question is at once easy and far from being easy to answer. And yet, to know what I truly desire, it can be as simple as taking a look at my reality.
Makes
Okay.
sense to you, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
If I truly loved reality, which is another name for God, I would have wisdom and know the difference between what I can change and what I can't. Hence, I would discern between the desires I choose to keep my core desires and the desire that I must abort, those that are only feeding the ego. Core desires are the desires that matter so much to me and which I want so badly that I will do whatever it takes to fulfill them, no matter how much work, risk, time, or expense are involved.
So do you have an example in your life of a core desire where you were not going to take any excuse, where you were so primary that you did whatever it would take to fulfill it?
I mean, core desires, are we talking about like being thirsty? And then you just
Well,
go and buy a bottle of water no matter how much it's costing because you're thirsty and you want to satisfy your thirst.
that's a very valid example. Yeah, very valid example. So please continue.
Yeah. These are things that I want with all my heart, all my soul, and all might, keyword all. Hence, it is my ambivalence that opens me to being dissatisfied as I am not allowing myself to be totally engaged in acquiring my desire. But why the ambivalence?
Any question on that part?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Any question from anyone else on that page? Okay. Then let's use that particular understanding to, as we go through what we're going to explore today, that there are core desires, there are ego desires. The core desire I am not ambivalent about. So what is the cause of my ambivalence? Am I aware of what I desire and why I desired enough that I could put the same kind of volition that Anna described when saying I'm thirsty and I don't care what it costs, I'm going to get me some water. Okay. So
Oh, I have
let's,
a question.
sure.
So let's say we have a different kind of desire, one that like we want, I mean, let's say freedom or whatever. Freedom, I'll use freedom. Um, okay. There's if there's ambivalence and in reality I'm not getting freedom, is it because something else is obstructing that desire, or is it because it's not a true desire of mine?
It's both the same thing. When freedom is going to truly be your desire, at the exception of anything else, that the only thing you want is freedom,
Yeah.
then you're going to do what it takes. And what that means is you're going to cut the cord with all the form of slavery that you're involved in today.
Yeah, makes sense.
But right now, you haven't made that decision
Okay.
yet.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why we get together to look at what the heck? Why can't I be primary and desire what I desire with all my heart, all my soul, and all of my power? Why am I just stretching, but not 100%? Okay, makes sense?
Absolutely.
Cool. Michael, would you take us through the equation to enough? Speak to us the fractal.
Yes, the equation to enough, I notice here, of course, that it's in a brown color, which resonates with the earth reality as manifestation. The text says, a unifying equation was hidden in plain sight in the first word of the Torah. The word translated as, quote, in the beginning, end quote. Another way of saying that is the word that is, quote unquote, God. That comes from John chapter 1, verse 1, the word that is God. This leads me to understand the 6 basic energies I use to create. From this foundation, I can deduce the instruments of knowledge utilized by 6 universal archetypes. I can also feel the desires that moves them.
No, you're right. That moved them.
Thank you. So just spoken practically, Maha asked me to make a comment about my experience with the equation to enough. And the subtext that I would state on this is that prior to Empowering Now and the Path of Golden XPR, and even a large extent of my time in working with this material, there's always been a low-level buzz in my life that feels something like existential anxiety. Always there, always under the current. And at the same moment that I noticed it, I also knew that somehow I was responsible for generating it. So what the equation has done for me is given me a way to relate to instruments at an archetypal cosmic level that I do believe source each of us, both in the dark and in the light, and when we're in the middle. And that's what the equation to enough does. It shows me how my equation to enough works with my not enough until I can hold the tension between the two. And I think of the geometry of this particular equation, and we'll see it later in these fractals. I think of it sort of like a small choir that has 6 members. And if any one of those 6 members is out of harmony, I experience not enough. And it's usually unconscious. That would be my summary. Thank you, Maha.
Beautiful.